Okay, another business question. What do you think the city should do to improve the business climate in Mesquite? And what are your thoughts about the new Mesquite Regional Business Organization?
Yeah, I see that up here. That's the MRBI.
Right.
I see that the city is, I guess, outsourced their receive business development, and I don't fully understand whether there's a rift with the chamber because they're not happy with what the chamber's been doing on that. Most cities that I have some knowledge of, it's a hand-in-hand thing between the chamber and the council. So this is kind of a unique approach, but we have to have some business development. And if that's the way it's going to work, and again, I'm not privy to whatever the existing council members took on board in making their call to go with the MRBI, but we have to have some new business. So in my opinion, it's worth a go if whatever else we've tried doesn't seem to be working.
Okay.
All right. At a business summit on January 28th, hosted by the Mesquite Chamber of Commerce, two business leaders, Corey Clementson and Greg Lee, discussed the core industries in Mesquite of golf and gaming. What do you think are the core industries, and what would you recommend the city do or not do about them?
Well, I think the core industries are clearly golf and gaming. I can see that, but there's a lot of industry that follows around that, because if golf and gaming, especially golf, may draw people to live here, then they need to see the retail outlets, they need the smaller shops, they need the small businesses, they need the food and drinking establishments, they need the other businesses. So I think it goes hand in hand. The casinos would dominate our business scene, and I'm okay with the status that we have now, but I'd like to see a more diverse business here. And one of the things that I think is important is when the council evaluates the possibilities of some new business, proposals. I think they really need to try to balance the financial implications to our city along with, I guess, the quality of life issues I call it, and that's a delicate balance. That's a delicate balance, but there's that's important. But I would be a pro-business councilman, but I would look at things probably from a conservative view and try to be a good listener and try to take into account what as many people as possible think.
Okay, and along those lines, would you give us your thoughts about how you think redevelopment agency funds, that's our local RDA funds, that are remaining should be used?
Yeah, I am aware of that, and I thought they were intended to clean up some of our city blight, for lack of a better term, but I don't see that happening. And again, not being privy to what's going on there, but it seems like if we've got those funds that were designated for a purpose, then why haven't we been able to move? What is holding that back? And that's one of the things that I think my financial background also helps me. I'm probably one of the only candidates that can read and understand the complex financial statements of a municipality, because I've audited municipalities and I've audited a lot of other companies.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at this year's budget hearings.
I'll be there. I'll be there. But I think I can look at our financial resources, and those funds would be one of our financial resources, John. I can look at those financial resources, the land we have, whatever else, and assess, are we getting the best use of those? And I'm not sure everybody can do that. And I can even help my fellow council members if they do not have the financial expertise. I have the ability that I've been told at my church and through other organizations to sort out the technical jargon and speak about accounting and financial matters in more of a general business terms. And I think that is a gift that I want to share with my fellow council members as might be required.
Okay.
We touched on this a little bit just a minute ago. There's been a lot of talk for years about doing something to improve the downtown district, and you touched on it a little bit a few minutes ago. What do you recommend the city council do specifically?
Well, firstly, if we have REA funds that aren't being used, let's use them to take away the blight that exists. But then that goes hand in hand with bringing in some new business. We can't just start a business because we think we should have more business there. That's not how it works. So we have to attract business, and perhaps the MRBI can be important in doing that. We have to evaluate the EC proposals we get to make sure it's right for us, probably consistent with our master plan that we talk about what our master plan is. Okay, I believe if we gave thought to that master plan, and as I read through it, it sounded a little bit like motherhood, but it was pretty straightforward. We should make sure the businesses are something that fit that. But again, that gets back to the importance of attracting new business. We just can't create business out of thin air, and we don't want to step backwards.
Okay, the next question continues on with the business theme, and you already touched on this a little bit. Give us your thoughts about the proposed Flying J project, and not necessarily that project, but others like it, in terms of balancing business concerns with the concerns of the public in terms of economic development and striking that balance between business and the public.
Yeah, well, I did touch on that earlier, John, and that's I think my hallmark is the capability to totally understand the financial implications. I've seen of anything, Flying J or whatever it be, I've seen sometimes, and I haven't attended as many council meetings as I will over the next few weeks, but I see sometimes that council members may be a bit, shall I say, overwhelmed or baffled, or maybe feel they might be being snowed. I will never be snowed financially, okay? And I'm not bragging, it's just that I got 37 years of experience, and I've been there, done that in a lot of cases. So I won't be snowed from that standpoint. So I can thoroughly understand the financial implications, but I also think, as a citizen of Mesquite, and I'm here because of lifestyle, because Mesquite has been great for me. It's everything we wanted it to be. That kind of is driven, I'm going off base a little bit, but that's driven why I think I'd like to share my abilities with the whole town and be on the council, because I've got a lot from being a citizen in 2.5 years of full-time residency. If I'd like to give something back. So I think I can look at that balance, listen to what others have to say, and try to walk that fine line as to how do you balance the city's need for business and jobs and growth with the lifestyle that a lot of people came here to enjoy.
Okay.